Hey everybody, we are live. This is Candy Camper, Tones, OG55, and Italiano, the Disney Italiano. He keeps changing his name all the time. I haven't had him on for a while. How are y'all doing today?
Fantastic.
Fucking fantastic, brother.
It's been a while since we got the band.
Minutes. Thank you.
It's been a while since we got the band back together, you know?
I know.
Oh yeah, no, it's been a time. It's been a time. Yeah, 2004 is gone. It's past us now. We are now into 2005. We're going to see a lot of different stuff coming up on the show here. We're going to see a lot of stuff coming up over on your guys' channel, Tone's channel, and then we're also rebranding the Bad Thoughts podcast, keeping the name, but we're going to come out with some different stuff and some new people, new guests, and also just a new crew. So be ready for that.
Our first recording's tomorrow, by the way.
Yes.
First recording's tomorrow. I know. I'm super excited. This channel is going to stay the same. We're still going to be posting some random clips here and there. But the main focus is still going to be over on the Bad Thoughts podcast this year. But I want you guys to know, like, if we're going to do anything with guests, I'm probably going to post some more here than we are on the Bad Thoughts podcast until a little bit later in the year. We just want to make sure that we are lined up and hitting all the boxes where we want first before we start getting super deep on our other channel. But Stay tuned. It's going to be awesome. Anyways, introduce yourselves. We should start with Tones.
Hi, I'm Tones. Just kidding. Yo, what's up, y'all? What's going on? I'm Tones, for those who probably already know me, but if you don't, yeah. You guys can find me at Bad Thoughts Studio on YouTube, where we talk about movies, TV shows, trailer reactions, stuff like that. And you also can find me on TikTok, Tones_TV, for the next 12 days. Might be a TikTok ban, but we'll see. But we're gonna be doing all kinds of stuff this year, like Ken had said. Bad Thoughts podcast. Make sure you guys go follow Bad Thoughts podcast. Hopefully he puts it in the link in the description below. But yeah, we're gonna be doing all kinds of stuff. Same with the studio, Bad Thoughts Studio. We're gonna be doing A Night of the Seven Kingdoms, which is a Game of Thrones, House of the Dragon, Umbrellas TV show. So make sure you guys keep a lookout for that. And yeah, that's where you guys can find me.
There he is.
Sweet. All right, OG, you're up.
All righty. Yeah, you could. Well, I want to thank you, Marcus, for having us all on. It's fun being back on with you boys. Always a good time. Yeah, you can find me on OrangeGrove55 on YouTube, talking all kinds of theme park news, mostly the West Coast. You know, Disneyland Resort.
Hi. Monster Hunter Pete, hope.
You know, and but we do dip into Disney World too. We do, and we also do a lot of movie review stuff and things like that. But yeah, find me on OrangeGrove55 on YouTube and on Twitter or X, OrangeGrove55, and Instagram, OrangeGrove55.
Love it. Thank you for coming on. And now we got George the Disney Italiano, or George the New Californian Italiano, aka we only had enough Italianos. Why do we need more? But we'll take them.
What's one more? Won't hurt, you know.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, thanks for having me on. I was just saying, like, before we went live, you know, it's been a while since we've done a show or a recording, so glad to be back on. And yeah, it's always a good time hanging out with the fellas. So, but yeah, if you'd like to find me on social media, you could do so on X, formerly known as Twitter, at Disney George. You could also find me on Instagram, Threads, and Blue Sky under the Disney Italiano. And of course, you can find me on my home base on Orange Grove 55 with Citrus Corner, with all that sweet, juicy, but sometimes sticky Disney news and info. And if you hear a ruckus in the back, I do apologize. That is not me, obviously, because I'm not in the bedroom.
God damn it, George.
But the winds are like really picking up.
Oh yeah, I forgot where you guys are.
I heard 80 mile/hour winds, dude. That's
80
crazy.
mile/hour winds,
dude. Like, my windows are rattling like crazy. So if my power goes out, I'll be back. But I just want to let you know in advance, because you know this shit in California, that's always a little bit on the iffy side with the power. You know what I'm saying? You never know. You never know.
Yeah,
I'm Cali for you.
I feel it. So today is going to be a special day because we're going to talk about a little bit about Marvel, a little bit about Disney, but I want to get into that lineup of the Marvel 2025 videos or movies that they're going to put out.
Hey, real quick, can I break some news that just came out 18 minutes ago?
Of course.
Marvel.
Wow.
Marvel Studios.
You guys forgot this.
Where Marvel Studios reportedly plans to recast T'Challa for the upcoming Avengers film and Black Panther 3.
Oh shit, dude.
Yep. Real quick, let me elaborate on that. If you guys haven't seen the Black Panther movies, of course, T'Challa in season 1 was the one who his name is slipping my mind.
What Chadwick?
Chadwick Boseman.
Boseman.
There you go.
Yeah.
Of course, everyone knows that he had passed away. So in number 2, they at the end of the movie, T'Challa ended up having a child, and they named him T'Challa. And I'm assuming that's where they're going to go with the movie. They're going to go with T'Challa, son T'Challa is going to be the new Black Panther in the next upcoming Avengers films, which I personally. Black Panther was great. The first one was great. It was a little overhyped because of people just going out and just watching the movie. To me, it was overhyped because when I went to go see it, it was just a good movie. It wasn't one of those ones I will always remember. You know what I'm saying? You know, those ones where you go to the movie theaters, you remember for the rest of your life. It wasn't one of those movies for me, but it was nonetheless, it was still a good movie. And number 2, of course, they had to do what they could because of the passing of Chadwick Boseman. And then it looks like for the number 3 Black Panther, we're getting the son, which I already assumed that was going to happen anyway. That's why they introduced them towards the end of the movie, in the post credit, and making him the new T'Challa. And I love it. I love the direction they went. It was a fucking fantastic idea, in my opinion.
Nice.
Yeah, I agree with what you just said too, and I think I said it probably on your channel a couple times. I think Black Panther was great. I didn't think it was an A-plus movie. I thought it was more of like a B tier in my eyes. He's a B tier character, but they made him into an A tier character. They needed him in the movie. They needed him in Avengers. I get why he's there. Controversial me, but hey, I don't think we need the second one personally, but we'll get it. We got it. I don't think we need a third one. But who even knows what direction Marvel's going in? We're getting Marvel zombies. We're getting.
I think we need the third one specifically because number 2 happened the way it happened. Exactly. Yeah. And not that number 2 was terrible.
Fair. That's fair.
Not number 2 for me wasn't terrible. I enjoyed the movie, but
they did what they had to work with.
Exactly.
Because technically they were going to make number 2 with Chadwick. You know, it was already, the script was like in full swing, and then due to his untimely death, Ryan had to go back in and literally rework the whole entire script. So, and I mean, I think he wanted to dedicate it to Chadwick, and rather than just scrap the whole project. So I like Black Panther 2 for what it stands for. I mean, as far as a film goes, it's like I could do with that, but I mean, I understand why it was made.
Does that push out the date? Because we were supposed to get Eye of Wakanda, I think, in August.
Well, that's an animated movie, isn't it?
Is it? I haven't looked into it yet.
Yeah, I think it's animated. I think.
So do we switch to that? Why do we need an animated film? Like, how are we feeling? Because I know they did a few things on Netflix with some like What If and everything like that. How do we feel about those?
Well, we don't know the direction it's going to go, to be honest. It could be years before the events that we have now. It could be the years, we just don't know.
Well, Tones, are the animated? I'm not really sure. Are the Marvel animated stuff? Are they in the same universe even as the live action movie stuff?
From my knowledge on this, the only one that I know of for a fact is What If.
Right.
That's the only animated kind of movie that is technically canon. But I don't know the direction they're going with it, so I don't want to speak on it because I have no clue like what the storyline is going to be about, or if it's even going to be canon or not.
Do you feel like the animation versions of like the Marvel is kind of a little bit like of a cop out, because it's almost like
you took my mind and put it into your body and said, I was sitting there waiting for Tony to be done. I was going to say the same thing. Yes, I do, and it is for a lot of companies to do that, because guess what? You don't have to do. Pay people a shitload of money to fucking act.
Yeah.
And you can sit in your basement and draw it out.
What do you mean by cop out though? As far as like money wise or storyline?
Like, they don't really know like what direction they're even going with Marvel anymore as of right now. We have to wait and see with like the 2 new Avenger films and with Fantastic Four and everything. I just feel like that they're just kind of buying themselves time, and rather than spend more money to actually film something live action with actors and pay buco bucks for something that may not work, it's like, okay, well, let's cut it down by half the price and let's at least give them something coming from the studio, and might as well make it animated.
See, I mean, it could be, we honestly don't know, but I think we're gonna have to see towards the end of whatever phase this is, whatever.
See, I would say,
how
I
they
would
go.
say that if it wouldn't be that route if Marvel was producing high quality stuff
High
like
quality. Yeah,
yeah.
I agree.
Just real quick, OG's power did go out, so he's gonna be frozen looking
Oh,
there. He's
I was
gone.
wondering, like, I thought he was like giving me like a death stare.
Yeah,
like,
I thought he was
Yeah,
pissed.
How dare you?
That's so funny.
We'll get him back in a minute. We'll switch the conversation because I kind of want to keep him around for when we bring up some of the newer movies. But I do want to talk to you guys just a little bit about something different until he gets back. So I'm going to bring George in on this one because you guys did this on your channel, and you guys should definitely go check out their channel after this. I'm going to put the description down below. You guys talked about The Simpsons. This was a little back, so I'm stretching. What is your thoughts? I didn't get to finish the episode. I've been super busy, but how is this going to go? What do you think is going to happen? I need to hear it from you.
So, for me with The Simpsons, I'm kind of like in the same realm with everybody where I just think no matter what company puts them into a theme park, it's all going to be kind of one and the same because it's that animation realm where it's like it's a very kind of like screwball slapstick kind of thing where the animation is good, but it's kind of like that kind of 2D flat animation where there's nothing really that you can really get from because it's an animated show based off of a family that is supposedly living in this fictional town and everything. There's like really nothing to go off on that. And the same thing like with Family Guy, there's nothing really that you can go too much with it. However, I think in Disney's case that if they were to do something bring the Simpsons into the parks, because that's what the whole question was, how like on their surveys, how do you feel to the guests, how do you feel about the Simpsons coming to the Disney parks? The only way that I would be okay with it is I wouldn't do a land. I wouldn't do like a whole entire reenactment of Springfield. I would just do a single attraction. And what I would do is put it in like Hollywood Studios or DCA and kind of do a Simpsons version of what they were going to do with the Great Muppet Movie Ride, but reenact it with the Simpsons.
And I agree with you. I think that can really work. And not only that, you can still bring back
real
the
quick. Did they
Muppets.
make it official that they were doing that with the Simpsons?
No, they're just getting people's thoughts on the subject matter. But
okay.
the reason why they're asking, but it seems like it's going down that route because Disney doesn't ask those kind of questions without like really like taking it to heart that's probably what they're going to end up doing.
You know what they could do too is they can always do that animation building and make it that and kind of still teach kids and stuff how to draw, but you would end up drawing Simpsons characters. The only thing is that it gets a lot of people in there. So I just can't see I can't see Bart walking down the street anywhere. It's just not the same vibe. The thing is, what I want fucking Bluey. Like, give me Bluey, dude. Bluey makes more sense than the Simpsons.
Right now they did confirm Bluey is coming onto the Disney Cruise Line first. I think it's for the sailings in Australia, and then eventually they are gonna she. It took me a little while to know that Bluey and Bingo were girls. That they will be coming to Disneyland and Walt Disney World at a later date.
I love it. I think that's
but I do agree with you with like meet and greets of the Simpsons because they do the meet and greets now at Universal, and I'm like, they're hugging the kids, they're waving for photos, and I'm like, that's not the Simpsons. Like,
no,
like Homer is like the most ignoramus character you could find on primetime television. Like, he seems like he's just too good for himself to be standing there taking a picture. Same thing with Bart.
Yep.
Like,
I agree, and that's why I just can't see it. I love that they did like Most Tavern and stuff like that. That stuff makes sense, but for Disney to want to do a land, they would end up mirroring what they already had over there because there's nothing else, like you said, that you could really grasp from Simpsons that it makes it Simpsons. So I just don't think it's going to happen personally. Maybe there will be some kind of weird little gift shop. Maybe I just don't see it being a full on land or them tearing down a whole building to put that in unless it makes sense somewhere.
Yeah, I would love for
and
them
it
to
would be
do kind
DCA.
of like their knockoff version of like films, and they could put it like in, as I said, DCA or Hollywood Studios, where you see Maggie kind of dressed up as like Indiana Jones, and you see this big boulder
That'd be
coming
cool.
towards her, but when it gets closer, you end up seeing that it's Homer's stomach. Like you do that kind of stuff, like that really like weird, bizarre slapstick kind of thing. Or OG had mentioned like where you have like Homer holding up Maggie, kind of like a reenactment of like Rafiki holding up Simba for the Lion King and stuff like that.
Yeah,
That'd be
that
fun.
would actually probably do better in Florida.
Yeah.
In Hollywood Studios.
I wanted
but, I
to-
mean, having it so close to. Go ahead.
No, go finish. I'm sorry.
I'll say having it so close to Universal though, it's still always to me is going to be one of those awkward things of why like you can't have two things in the same parks. So I just don't think it would ever happen personally.
Well, it's
I'm
even
not-
like with Marvel right now too. You know, that's why Disney World's having a hard time of trying to get something in, because Universal is still holding on to that very little piece of it in Islands of Adventure.
I think that was just a bad contract. Whoever's lawyer was like, "Hey, yeah, well, we can't do this, we can't do that." There's something there. What were we gonna say?
Someone, really quick before we go to Tones. There's a price for everything. So when they say,
100%.
they couldn't negotiate a new contract or something, bullshit.
100%. No, I just wanted to read Marissa's answer Marissa's comment. She says, still not excited for the new Captain America. What do you think of Chris Evans coming back? I'm wondering if it's partially because people only see him as Cap. So I do agree with this whole, or I am kind of confused with this whole Chris Evans thing. I don't know exactly as far as what character he's going to play, because we did see him in Wolverine and Deadpool as what's his name?
Deadpool,
a torch. What the hell's his name?
the Human Torch.
Human Torch. Yes.
Yeah.
So we've seen him play Human Torch. I don't know if they're gonna go that route. I mean, we don't know. Because I think he's only coming back for one movie. So, but if he does come back for Captain America, what does that mean for this timeline? Because in the timeline we're in now, he's old and he's not the Captain America that we know, that we know of.
This is where I get frustrated with Marvel. If you don't mind, I'm going to go on a little bit of a
no, feel free.
So
love it.
When you look at a cinematic masterpiece, like when you take Infinity War and Endgame, it ended on a note where Tony Stark ended up sacrificing himself for basically humanity. Captain America ends up going back to his original timeline, falling for the woman that he is meant to be with. It was a perfect ending. And I get it that people want to see that notion of seeing those characters kind of come back on the big screen in the MCU in a big way. But again, kind of going back to my cop-out statement, it's like you're kind of going like the easy route, and then it ends up diluting the moment of what Infinity War and Endgame brought to the MCU that was so great. Mm-hmm. It almost makes it feel like it's in vain. It's like in a way, I don't want to see those characters come back in a way. It's like, yeah, let's bring back Robert Downey Jr., but yeah, he's not coming back as Iron Man. He's coming back, and I get it. It's a variant and everything. Like, I don't care about that shit. Like, I don't.
But
that's what they're gonna do with Chris Evans.
Yeah, real quick, I kind of want to touch on that, because there is a way of reading something on a comic book, and the comics are all different variants, and they have different storylines, but we might get similar storylines in the movies, but I wonder how it's going to translate on screen, because are the fans going to like it because it's part of the comics? Are fans not going to like it because it doesn't make sense?
Glad you brought that. I'm glad you brought that up, because I'm really not a huge comic guy. I never read them. I don't follow the comic style. But yeah, I am curious about that too, Tones, because a lot of people just go for the movie just to say, okay, I want to see a great movie. And yeah, does it get lost in translation where the comic book people understand it, but us just going in it blindly
who don't, yeah.
Like, where does this go into? And me personally, that's why I wouldn't even just touch it at all, and just kind of simplify it and just move on with new characters, a new story. And that's where I'm really looking forward to Fantastic Four. I'm actually, I'm still very much invested in Secret Wars and Doomsday. I almost said Doom Clock. Doomsday. But Fantastic Four for me is the route that I'm going, because it's characters I'm familiar with, but it's taking a new route of a storyline that it's fresh and new and different.
So another thing, going back off that and doing a little bit of research, the movie Nomad that's coming out, that's where he's going to be playing Captain America, and he would reprise his role as a variant. So that's kind of the thing, but that would also mean we would need him for more than one film. I just don't get it. And this is always going to be boggling my mind. Like, who's the puppet master behind all this? That's has all their fingers into this. And is someone in one room greenlighting one project and someone else is over here? Well, they just greenlight that one. We want to get money too. We want to go with this route, and then it just clashes because there's just no right road for us to go right now, and it's really annoying.
Or at least there's not a clear path of where it's going. Rather,
this is great. Ryan Turner said, "Bringing back RDJ and Evans is lazy and safe move like Toy Story 5." You leave Toy Story 5 out of it because we need it.
Yeah, I will say. Well, here's the thing. Like, I mean, I feel like that there's like too many Toy Stories. I feel like there's more Toy Stories than just as much as how many chances that Kathleen Kennedy had with Lucasfilm. But I feel like in a way we kind of need number 5 to the disastrous of what number 4 was. I would rather them kind of like, I mean, don't get me wrong, number 3 should have been it. Like, that was the perfect way to end a trilogy to the Toy Story franchise, but then they had to go and ruin it with number 4. So I feel like we kind of need number 5, and I would kind of go that route. I know that they kind of gave us a scenario at D23 that the toys are up against like electronics and technology. You know, the kids kind of took over with that, but I would love to see a story around Andy getting back his toys, introducing them to maybe his child, and like that's how you end it. Like, that's what I'm doing. But I think honestly, as long as people keep on going to see a Toy Story movie, it's like they'll just keep making them.
Yeah, it's not.
Well,
it's not
I don't mind. I don't mind the shows or the shorts they do because those are great and the family loves them.
Yeah.
But you're putting all your money into this bag again, and it's repetitive, and I keep forgetting what happened in the last one because it just doesn't make sense to me. But yeah,
Toy Story 4 once. I saw it in theaters just for mere curiosity, and that was the only time I watched it. That was it. I was done. I walked out of the theater, and I was pissed.
It just was weird. That's the one with the dolls, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yep. Like the little puppet dudes who look like
a little goosebump slappy.
Yeah. Slappy, there you go. Yeah. Speaking of slappy, this is coming. We're jumping around. Did you see that they announced season 2?
I saw
Goosebumps.
That. Yes.
Dude, have you watched the first one?
I have. I actually really enjoyed them. I was kind of nervous because I grew up watching the Goosebumps series, and I thought, oh God, I hope they don't ruin another franchise. But I
they did great.
I actually fairly enjoyed it. Yeah.
And it's Disney and Sony, so it's like, whoa, hey, let's take a step back. That's what I saw. I'm like, cool. Why is it on Disney Channel? That's fucking weird. And then like Sony's produced. I'm like, okay, this is gonna be fucked up somehow. It was great characters, great everything. But Abby said, jumping around again, the Infinity War was a great ending. Why bring back these characters? Infinity War was a great ending. Yeah. Why do we need these characters? And I think the reason being that I don't say we need the characters, but it is one of those things that really established nostalgia really fast for a lot of people. And it's crazy because it's nostalgia that was based off of nostalgia, if that makes sense. You brought back these characters for the older generation to give to their kids, and then that was passed on. And then we had these characters that are so iconic from my age to everybody's age, because who do you know? When you say, hey, who's the Avengers? You know the Avengers. You know Spider-Man. Like, those are the characters you're always going to have. Even if this stopped now, you're always going to have those characters floating around the world. So that's why you bring back those characters, because they know, once again, I saw it in here, a money grab. And that's what they're trying to do. But the fact that they brought back RDJ, it's like, dude, there's other people in the world. Give someone else a chance. And we're coming into that state where we're getting some of these new actresses and actors that are out here that we've never seen, or they're in indie films, and they're fucking crushing it. there's some people out there that are just way better than these mainstream actors, and they're just getting these jobs versus the other people that should have these new roles. Like Brad Pitt, love Brad Pitt, but come on, dude, you're like 80 now. Give the role to somebody else. You're still hot. We get it. You're one of the best vampires we've ever seen. But let someone else be a damn vampire. Let someone else be an Egyptian warrior, or not just warrior, a damn, I don't know, whatever the fuck movie he was in, where he stabs people with swords. Just come on. I don't know. Maybe I feel alone.
I will say this. This may be a little bit of a controversial statement, but who the hell cares?
It's you, George. I think we're all.
It's not controversial. We're ready for it.
Yeah.
We're waiting.
So a lot of these seasoned actors, like I'm talking about actors that is like been around for some time, like Candid, you had mentioned like Brad Pitt and what have you. I feel like that their name is worth more than what they're actually producing on screen right now. And I feel like because of how much they're worth and how much they're getting paid for these films, a lot of times they just like, okay, well, I'm getting paid this. I'm so-and-so actor. You know, I could do anything. I could touch something and turn it gold. I could walk on water. And it's like, it kind of diminishes their acting ability. So when you see them on screen, it's like, damn, they used to be so much better than what they're doing now.
Yep. Real quick, I wanted to I wanted to read Marissa's comment real quick. The only thing that would be interesting is Peter seeing Dr. Doom because he looks like Tony Stark. Great point, Marissa, because this was one of the outcomes I was assuming was going to happen, and seeing this and seeing Peter react to Robert Downey Jr. as Doom and not Iron Man, I think will be such an iconic fucking scene, dude. I think it will go down as one of the best scenes in the movie if this were to happen, in my opinion. But did you hear anything, George, about like in this movie of anything going on? Because I do want to see this.
Yeah, Marvel hasn't officially confirmed it, but there has been chatter around in the community stating that one of the main reasons that they went this route with RDJ coming back as the variant of Doom is for him to go face to face with Peter Parker. And I think that would be a big climactic moment. Even just that part alone, even if they don't use RDJ ever again for Dr. Doom, but just for that specific scene, I think honestly that would be so impactful in the character arc of how Tony's relationship was to Peter. Mm-hmm. And see the face of your hero, but to know that it's not him and it's basically a threat that you have to defeat him. Oh man, that would be that would be a moment to where when I went to go see No Way Home and I saw the 3 Spider-Men on the same screen at the same time. Like that would be awesome.
No, I agree.
So where does this set us up for the Fantastic Four?
What do you mean? Like storyline wise or
storyline wise? What are we gonna do with them? Because that opens up a whole new floodgate for more characters, more scenarios, and just different tie-ins.
It's a good question because I don't know. I may sound ignorant when I say this because I don't know when it comes to the comic books, and I don't know if they're going to do this in the timeline or in these movies. But of course, we would love to see Fantastic Four team up with the Avengers or whatever the case may be. Like I said, I might sound stupid saying it, but it would be dope. It would be really cool to see that
universe. Like Feige came out and said it's an alternate it's an alternate universe. I said it. Come on.
Oh, he left. He fucking left. Oh.
Cancel myself. There you go. It was an accident.
Oh, shit.
He said that it is an alternate universe and it's not an origin.
Okay.
So we already got the X-Men, which where are they going to be at now? They got shipped off to whatever land and breaking all these different walls. And then there's all these different variants from there. Like, what do we do? And then you got Loki, like, still floating out. Like, what are we doing? What route? So
see, this is what happens when you bring in so many different characters with so many different storylines, leaving it on a cliffhanger. Where even is Shang-Chi involved in all this? We're still waiting for that.
Absolutely. That's and who said it? I think it was Mr. Seymour. He said it too, man. We need him. We need fucking Shang-Chi in this fucking universe, man. We need to see him more. One movie in the last fucking 5 years is ridiculous. This dude had one of the best movies in what's it called, in the last 5 years, dude. Even including I overreacted when it came to the Deadpool and Wolverine because I love the cameos. But if I were to say right now, Shang-Chi was better than Deadpool and Wolverine, in my opinion. I don't think that Deadpool and Wolverine was that good rewatching it as far as storyline. I thought it was awful. But the cameos just overpowered everything.
I rewatched it, and you're right. Because I think I had this weird, like, I was blind in the theaters.
Yeah, because of the cameos, bro.
Yeah, dude. And I rewatched. I'm like, what the fuck is this? And not only that, he like went into the like whatever. Like he just kept like talking to the camera the whole time. It was just fucking weird. Like they overdid it. They overwent with a lot of his jokes, which I get is Deadpool. I don't get me wrong. It's still fucking awesome. I still loved it. It was just. I think you're right.
It wasn't as good as we initially thought. Because to me, Shang-Chi was fucking way better, in my opinion.
I think Wolverine also forced. I think it's this on your channel. They forced Wolverine to swear. Like it didn't sound natural coming out of his mouth, which is really strange to me.
Oh, when he said "fuck" or whatever.
Yeah, it's just like a weird spot for him to say it. It just didn't sound right. But bringing that up, how do you guys? I know we're jumping a lot of topics, guys. Thank you for sticking with this. But how do you feel about X-Men entering the universe? Do you want there to be X-Men universe?
Yes.
But do you want it to be like how they had originally, or do you want just to start blending in right away? Where, hey, I'm going to call up Storm. Hey, girl, I need you over here. Or do you want it to be like, hey, this is going to be set up with Dr. Xavier or Dr. Xavier?
How does he call up Storm again? Can you?
Hey, girl, where you at, though?
Hey, girl, where you at?
Oh, hell no.
I'm right here.
No, I would still want them to have their own individual separate story first before like just popping in out of nowhere. Yeah.
Yeah,
but even when they do, they have to have that moment where when they do have that, and it's like you have one of the Avengers come up like, Storm, hey girl, where you at? Like they need to have that.
And see, I think X-Men does fit better into what we have now versus Fantastic Four. And I think that's why it's going to be harder to transition Fantastic Four into it. But they already fucked around with MODOK. And I don't know. We just need the People Eater.
Oh, that was like, they could have done that character so much.
Weird.
I mean, that was the weirdest rendition of a Marvel character I think they ever did. No, let me take that back. Ant-Man 3 was just complete god-awful. I'm sorry.
Like, hey, he's back.
Got him.
Hey, you called it, bro. You said if I dip, this is why.
I'm telling you, I knew it was gonna. I knew it was gonna happen, bro. Because it's been my lights have been like flickering. It's been like unsteady all day, all freaking day. And sure enough, right as rain, boom. But I'm back. So what are we talking about?
Dude, what are we talking about? We kind of started talking a little bit about X-Men coming into the world. So I'm going to actually bring that topic up for you so you can get your reaction to it. So you got X-Men, right? X-Men and Fantastic Four. Who do you think is going to blend better into the MCU? And who will be the first people to actually blend into the MCU?
Oh, that's interesting. Who would be better? Oh, that's a tough one. I think Fantastic Four is probably going to blend in better with the MCU. That's kind of my feeling on it, but it's interesting. I feel like I think Fantastic Four is like the safer bet, but I feel like X-Men would be the more interesting of the two groups. Oh, that's kind of how I feel about it. You know what I'm saying? I think if done right, X-Men would be a funner kind of like mix, but yeah. I think in terms of just a natural fit overall, I think Fantastic Four fits in more natural. Is that kind of where you guys were at, or?
We're kind of didn't answer that yet.
Real quick, I did read this earlier. It says the X-Men will be introduced in Marvel Cinematic Universe in the next few movies, with some characters appearing in the upcoming slate of films and others in 2027 Avengers Secret Wars. So we are getting the introduction for sure. Kevin Feige came out and said this already, and he said that we are going to be getting them. Secret Wars is where we'll be getting most of them, I believe.
Now, damn, Tony, you just opened up a fucking rabbit hole. So now are they going to go back and do what they did before with the fucking all this bullshit where we're going to have way too much storyline. We're going to have way too many characters because now we got Fantastic Four. The thing is with these groups of people, it opens up a whole new platform for these characters and for storyline because Fantastic Four has its own world and story. Same with X-Men has its own world. Avengers. So what are you going to do? You're going to give us a whole bunch of fucking TV shows on Disney Plus that's going to blend in, and then you're going to put half of them on fucking Hulu, and then you're going to give Netflix like the rights to one of them, so I can't watch it. Like, what are we going to do?
Well, that's a great point, Marcus, because you don't want to get to the point where it gets convoluted. And that's what we had happen before they lost their way, right? So you start introducing all these characters and there's almost too many. And now they're forced to throw in, like you were saying, Marcus, throw a lot, you know what I'm saying? Throw them on Disney Plus and everyone gets a TV show and the whole thing. And then you're back to 2020 again, you know? So it's a risk. It's a huge risk, but hopefully they can just keep it clean. You know what I'm saying? Don't get too like in the weeds and too convoluted. Keep it clean.
So now asking, what characters do you break off? Because we already had so many origin stories from these other characters from who was it from Universal? Not Universal. Was it Universal? The 20th Fox.
What was your question?
Sorry. So like Fox already put out like Wolverine and those kind of characters. So who does Disney now spin off? Because they are going to do it. They want to touch money too. So we are going to get some of these shows probably at some point. So what characters do we go with that still gives a fresh take? Or you just redo Wolverine again?
No, I think we redo everything. Like Storm, fucking everyone, dude. The whole storyline, do it all over again, but make it theirs. And
so how do we get Wolverine? Do we go Henry?
It's gonna be one of those variants, bro. But yeah, possibly. And I wouldn't mind that. I mean, everyone went crazy. Fantastic. Yeah, everyone went crazy. But at the same time, Hugh Jackman said that he's down to play Wolverine more. And I don't know how much more, but he said he's down to play more.
Let me ask you this, Tones. If you do like what you were saying with the whole new storyline, the whole new, but you keep Hugh Jackman, does that confuse audiences? If you're starting fresh story wise and universe wise, but you keep the same actor, does that confuse the audience? Like, oh wait, is this the same?
No.
No.
Fox, when they did X-Men, they made it their universe. You know what I'm saying? Now that we get a whole new X-Men, a whole new storyline and everything, I think if we do keep Hugh Jackman, it will not confuse anything because we know it's not under the same umbrella, but we are going to use the same characters, if that makes sense. Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think he's fantastic. I think he fits. I mean, he was born to play this character. I mean, he is Wolverine. You know what I'm saying? He's Wolverine.
Yeah, and the thing is, I want him to be Wolverine too, but I don't want something, God forbid, happen to him and he can't play fucking Wolverine. You know what I mean? And then we're fucking stuck with having a Wolverine that's not Wolverine anymore 2 or 3 movies in because he wanted to be old. But we got Harrison Ford, dude.
Because he wanted to be old is crazy.
Because he wanted to be old. Harrison Ford dude crashed like 30 planes and he still wants to be Indy. He should let Shia, dude. Should have Shia LaBeouf be the new Indy.
Dude, not only is he Indy, Han Solo, and he's Red Hulk, man. Harrison Ford is doing big things.
That's a fucking animal.
Dude, that's fucking
man. That's a fucking animal. But yeah, no, I just hope they do it right. I just don't want to. I love X-Men. I think X-Men is amazing. I loved all the Fox X-Men. I thought they were great. Even the shitty ones were still good. Like, they're watchable.
Yeah.
Fantastic Four, though, it's going to be the future of where we need to be at, and that's going to open up a lot of those doors. And
I agree with you with that, because with X-Men, not that they kind of have like a free pass, but they pretty much stand their way through cinema where you're pretty much at a safe bet, especially if Hugh Jackman reprises his role as Wolverine, where with Fantastic Four, they have a lot to prove.
Oh,
we're going to get Galactus, dude. We're going to get fucking Galactus finally. Like, that's the all end.
Like a real Galactus. Like, I don't want to see Galactus as like a gust of wind. Like, no, I want
to see the motherfucker like I'm gonna eat your shit. And then you got Silver Surfer, be like, yeah, bro.
I'm gonna eat your shit.
Yeah, bro. I gotta say, speaking of Fantastic Four, I love that like 1960s, like mid-century sort of retro future thing they're going with on that one. I mean, this film has a lot of potential. You know what I'm saying? So I'm looking forward to it. Absolutely.
For sure. People in the chats, go ahead and leave down below or in the comment section. What are you most excited for? Are we more excited for the new X-Men? Or are we gonna be excited more for Fantastic Four coming out? So going back to
either way, Seymour got a boner.
I was just about to say,
well, Seymour, Seymour, that boner thing at the end of WandaVision, I loved that show. That finale was dog. Can I cuss on that show? Are we good?
Yeah.
Okay. That finale.
Anything involving Candid, you can cuss on.
Okay. That finale was dog shit. That Ralph Boner thing at the end, I hated all that stuff, man. I hated it. Absolutely hated it. I mean, that show started off so dope, dude. I loved all the way how they integrated the superhero universe into that old school TV stuff. I thought it was done so creatively and so well done. And as the show went on into like the last 2 or 3 episodes or something like that, it got horrible, man. It got horrible, in my opinion. And the boner joke was like the cherry on the fucking sundae. I hated that.
Tony, can you bring up the chart for 2025 so we can take a look at the movies? I appreciate you. There's a few on there that I haven't heard of in the world. So I tried to do some research. What was that?
So what if I was just like, no, I can't.
Okay, then just kick you off the fucking show. I don't really care. Doesn't bother me any. So we have like Wonder Man. Does anyone know anything about Wonder Man?
I don't.
No.
Exactly.
Nor do I care, to be honest.
Like supposedly he fought against the Avengers at some point. He was a supervillain, but now he's helping them out. I don't know. But we're getting a full on like show, I guess. So there's some ones in there. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. I've never heard of him. I'm not a big. I don't read the comics and stuff, so I don't know. I'm not familiar with that character. But I will say this: I will have an open mind with it because I also didn't know who the Guardians of the Galaxy were, and I fell in love with those characters. So Wonder Man might be really dope. I don't know his whole thing, his origin, his backstory, but he might be dope. But yeah, I don't know.
It's not going to. It's
but there's a difference between a James Gunn.
I was just going to say that James Gunn, anything tied to James Gunn, I'm sorry.
Yeah, anything he's introducing is different.
That's why, honestly, I do have some hope for that new Superman movie because he is tied to that. You know, if that's what's given me a little bit of a spark to want to go see it because honestly, I'm done with like Superman. I'm done with Superman. I'm done with Batman. I'm so sick and tired of seeing different renditions of like how many different actors who can don the suit. Like, I don't really care anymore. But the fact that James Gunn is tied to this film and he's rebooting the DC by starting it off with the Man of Steel. And the trailer was honestly quite very interesting, honestly. But I am a little bit curious.
Was it Candid? Was it, bro?
What?
Was it? No. He fucking hated it for some reason.
Oh, I loved it, man. Yeah. Tones and I did a reaction to it, or a speculation video and an analysis video, more or less, on my channel, right? Tones, and I was fawning over that thing. I love the way it looked. I thought it was dope, dude. Yeah, I think Gunn hit the tone he had to hit with that. Go ahead, Tones.
The only thing I'll say is the points that Cannon brought up are valid in the sense of it's a new DC movie. Putting out another Superman movie, and I get it. I get that we haven't got a good DC movie in God knows how long, and we're just getting another DC movie. But like I explained it in the episode is like, or the one that we did on my channel. There's a difference between James Gunn introducing something rather than someone else, and he's doing Superman, which I have high hopes for. Like we said in OG's channel, we have high hopes for this movie, and they're not making it an origin story because all that shit that happened before Superman became Superman we're moving all past that. We're going to be like Superman's going to be involved in the beginning. So I do think this Superman's going to be great.
Yeah.
Seymour Duck was saying that Wonder Man is very important to a certain storyline. That's all I was going to say, by the way. So don't fucking ask any more questions about it. No, I'm gonna go do some research after this. Of course, I did some quick little reading right here, and it looked like there was a trailer, and the trailer had Daredevil in it, so that's interesting. So we'll see that. And speaking of Daredevil, we're gonna actually be getting a Daredevil movie, right? Right.
Repeat that.
You broke up a little bit.
Daredevil movie or show?
Well, we're getting a show. It's a show. It's
Yeah.
The Born Again, right?
Born Again. Yeah.
Okay. So, do you see what's her name? What was her name? What's the girl version? What was her name though? The actress.
Oh, Jessica Jones.
No, the other one.
In what
Elektra.
what movie?
Elektra.
Oh,
Jennifer Gardner. It was
There you
Jennifer
go.
Gardner.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. So seeing her come back, do you think we're gonna see anything with her and some of that little like maybe more cameos, or do you think she's just kind of one done?
I don't know. I mean, isn't she kind of getting up there? I mean, I don't want to be disrespectful, but like,
She looks great. She looked great. She looked better than Blade.
She actually didn't look like she aged, to be honest with you. But
Yeah, I was digging it.
but that's the thing though. Introducing another person that like what the fuck? Come on, like really? That's Fox. Let Fox have her, bro. You know what I'm saying? Don't get me wrong. I love the movie was fucking amazing, dude. But like, just keep her where she's at right now, dude. She had a cool cameo. Let's leave it there.
Yeah.
Now, there's only one person that I would want from that movie to fucking make a movie, and y'all know who it is.
Gambit.
Thank you. Yeah, if
Where
they
the
made
fuck is our
bring Gambit in, dude. If Gambit can come in and fucking take off, dude, I'm okay with it.
And you would have
as long as it's not Channing Tatum. Honestly,
I was just gonna say that
he got on my nerves so badly in Deadpool and Wolverine. I wanted to just like climb into that screen and slap the shit out of him.
I disagree, bro. I thought he was phenomenal. I thought he was great.
I just honestly, I don't know. Like every time I look at his face, he just it just looks like Magic Mike is doing cosplay of him.
I was just gonna ask you that, Tones, if he was your guy. So he's the dude you'd pick for, huh?
Absolutely. And he's been picked for years. I don't know if you guys knew this. He was supposed to be cast for Gambit years ago, and then they just didn't do anything with it. And now that he was able to play Gambit, like if you guys remember, the Gambit that we got from in Deadpool and Wolverine wasn't the Gambit that we saw in the Wolverine movies. It was the remember, I forgot his name. The dude who played in, I think it was like Friday Night Lights. I think that was the actor's name. And Battleship. He was the original Gambit.
Nice. Oh, Seymour Duck. George's special access is about to get revoked. Yeah, George, you're in trouble, man. Bob Iger about to call me and tell me that take him off the list.
I think what he did in Deadpool and Wolverine, bro, Channing Tatum, to wrap this all up, was good enough for me. And I think he could play the character well. He even got the accent down very fucking well, in my opinion.
Nice. I still haven't seen that movie, but it's on my list. What's going on, Fernanda? Fernanda in the house.
The scroll that you have, OG?
Yeah, the scroll, exactly. Long ass list, you know what I'm saying?
I'm going to put my vote out there. I liked Gambit. I liked Channing Tatum as Gambit. I thought the costume was actually really nice. It was well done. I thought he did a better job than Blade. Blade looked like a cheesy actor to me. But here we go. So this is one of those stories now where we split the X-Men up into different fucking ways. Do we get it? Do we just get a Gambit and then we call it a day? Because we're gonna want to see more. And then are we gonna be stuck with the main X-Men once again? Like, are we gonna veer off like they kind of did with Deadpool? I don't know, but I want a Gambit movie.
Would Gambit be with the whole X-Men? Do you think they should do it with the X-Men?
I want a Cyclops movie. How come no one ever talks about getting a Cyclops standalone?
Yeah, but I mean, it's Gambit though, bro. Gambit.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, it's also Cyclops too. Dude, we need Sabretooth's backstory. That's what we need. We need Sabretooth back. That fucking guy. He needs to be played by go ahead.
How about Wolverine versus Iron Man? Let's just go ball to the wall. This is fucking good.
Fuck it. Oh, here we go. See, the accent fits because he's from New Orleans.
New Orleans.
New Orleans. I can do it. I can do it. New Orleans. OG's list. Hey y'all. LOL. Hello again. LOL. Tones, if you want to talk a little bit about the new Spider-Man.
Oh, by the way, real quick, Tones, before you start, congratulations to Mr. Tom Holland and Zendaya on their engagement.
Absolutely.
Wow, that's real.
Tom Holland making moves. That's my boy.
Oh yeah. Oh yes.
He wants to get up. He wants to get caught in her spider web.
I was going to say something pretty bad, but I'm not going to say it. I can't say it here. Anyways,
so Michael, what do you mean by the new Spider-Man? What are you talking
about? The friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.
It's a cartoon, I think, right?
Yeah, it's not. I have no idea, bro. I couldn't tell you. I was saying I haven't been paying attention to any of the animated movies, to be honest with you.
Have you seen any of the shows, like with the kids shows? Not that I watch them or anything. But
yeah,
have you seen them?
No. Can you imagine if I called you, was like, "Hey, did you watch this?" Better fucking.
I could imagine that. I could imagine that.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
But I guess the only thing that we kind of really have left on here is Thunderbolts. We haven't gotten into that.
I saw the preview. I'm not. I have no interest in seeing it, to be honest. It doesn't even make me tingle.
Like, yeah, let's actually skip that because I want to go to Captain America, bro. That's where I want to go. Thunderbolts. I mean, none of us really know much about Thunderbolts. I mean, I've known George and OG pretty long now, and I don't think we've ever discussed Thunderbolts once. So none of us know what's going on with it. But Captain America, I think I would love to touch on. I think this movie is going to be good. It's going to introduce Red Hulk. It's going to introduce a new storyline. But this brings back to what we were saying earlier. If we bring back Chris Evans as Captain America, who will hold the shield if it's in the same timeline? And this is my only kind of concern with this movie is if we end up liking it and it's a phenomenal movie, then what? Like,
so it's like they're giving you something and then taking it away.
Exactly.
Why even have the movie in the first place?
Exactly. And then they give us old Cap back, and it's like, what are we doing? Who do we root for now? Like, is Captain America now? So
well, then you get into like the social issues, right? Because when Sam Wilson became Captain America, they promoted it as more representation and what have you, which is cool, you know what I'm saying? But then if you take it back and give it back to the white dude, doesn't that look problematic a little bit or no? Because now you made a big deal about it before, now you're giving it back to the white guy.
I think it only happens when the people who make that a big deal, like if they want to look at it like that. I don't know.
I know, but you have to realize that the people are out there that might do that.
Oh, well, they're out there, and it's like anyone will turn anything about anything. That's just the unfortunate thing of social media. It's like you can put on a movie and say, "Oh, Beauty and the Beast. Oh my gosh, this shouldn't even be watched for kids because it's promoting bestiality." It's like so. It's like you could do that with like
on YouTube.
Because honestly, it's like
the beast is hung like a horse, bro. Hung like a horse.
I don't know if you say that either on YouTube.
No.
Well, like, because there's a
demonetized.
Because there's a scene in Captain America that I find quite fascinating, and it was mentioned in the preview so many times when Harrison Ford's character says, "You're no Steve Rogers." So it does beg the question to actually Sam Wilson. So it begs the question. Is the route of this film going to eventually lead down the road at the end where Sam Wilson gives up the shield on his own because he feels like it's too much of the responsibility that it was through Steve Rogers that carried it on? Or does the movie end where, you know what, he's like, screw y'all, I don't care what you think. Yeah, I'm no Steve Rogers. I'm Sam Wilson. I'm gonna like take this shit on. Like, so it can go any way just based off of that scene alone. We really don't know what direction that the movie is going to end with.
If I had to take a get, or if I would want something to happen, it would be another Captain America from a different timeline coming to this timeline, and them having to use him, and possibly them teaming up. And then he eventually goes back to his timeline. I think that would be a pretty cool way of doing it. But it just, it's just not clear on what's going on. So, but if I had to pick, it would be Captain America coming to this timeline from a different one because of something happening or something, and them teaming up.
See, I'm with
Yeah.
Marissa. I like Sam as a character. If they, I
not
can't
Cap.
see him as Cap.
But see, and this is the thing too, right? Like we were talking earlier about Black Panther and what a huge movie, how huge franchise, huge character that is. I think that the diversity is important, but I think it's important when you have their own characters. I think they hit differently. I think when you just give Sam the shield, look how much more weight Black Panther holds in the universe and all that compared to Sam Wilson, because it's kind of like he gets the hand-me-down shield or what have you, right? If you have these original characters like Black Panther and stuff that start off as Black character or a Latin character or a Chinese character, I think it means more, it holds more weight than when you just kind of like when you do this whole like holding the mantle kind of thing.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this. Then, OG. Like, do you see them kind of going with the backstory of, yeah, he handed off the shield, he's now Cap, he gets embodied into this Captain America, like people see him as what they want to see him as, but he doesn't feel that, so he ends up giving it back to Captain America and says, hey, you know what, I like being where I'm at, and that's how they hand it back off. Like, that would be the easiest cop out, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, if he hands it back to him,
an identity crisis kind of style.
Yeah, absolutely. And it would be something like that, I'm sure. At the end of the day, it would be some kind of storyline where he feels like, you know what, it's not right for me to have it. I'm going to give it back to Chris Evans.
Are you guys invested in seeing this movie?
Repeat that. I'm sorry, George.
Are you guys invested in seeing this movie? Is it something that you
kind of have to?
I mean, the position I'm in with making the content for it, yeah, I'm going to have to.
Well, I'm curious. Actually, I'm really curious about the Red Hulk. I think I love Harrison, and I think that's gonna be very interesting to see him play that character. That's man, the dude's like 80-something years old, man. This is gonna be fun.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
Red Hulk's just a badass motherfucker. Like, that's just such a cool character.
Yeah.
I just think it's not gonna do well. I really don't think it's gonna do
well. It had a lot of issues. Like, how many times has it been gone through production? Like with this on again, off again, even with the title. Like the title, went through like how many changes, and I always see a pattern when you have a movie, and I know this is completely off topic, but just like with Pixar's The Good Dinosaur, when you have so many times where a director comes in, a director leaves, you put someone in, or Solo for even like, I mean, don't get me wrong, I actually enjoyed Solo, I actually liked it, but in the public eye, when you have a movie that's beating around the bush so many times of changing things, and you have so many different conflicted opinions of how you want a story route to go, by the time you have the finished product, it's like people don't even care anymore. And that's my even worry with a little bit. Now, I'm still curious about it. I want to see Elio. But I mean, that movie has gone through like the ringer like so many times. That movie was supposed to be released like 2 years ago.
Yeah, I was actually really surprised, George, how much I liked what we saw for Elio at D23.
I agree. I actually do too. I love the change route that they've gone with the movie, and kind of even adapted the main character into a different kind of story arc. Because the first one, I don't know if they're still keeping it this way. I know I'm kind of going off topic here, but where Elio is like the first like teaser trailer where he like is on like the computer, and something about like where he connects with the aliens through like social media or something. To me, like that just like was like the weirdest freaking thing.
Yeah. And he like represents like the world or something at some like intergalactic UN or something. Yeah.
What do you think of the animation on that? Because if you notice, like Pixar and Disney kind of like switched up the animation on their people a little bit lately.
Yeah, they did. And I think the reason for that, Candid, is I think that for a while there was almost like an arms race in terms of like animation, like CGI, right? Getting as real as you can get, right? So all these studios, Pixar and all these other various animation studios were trying to make it look as real as possible. We finally hit that like ceiling where like if you get any more real, it's going to be just live action. So now they're like, okay, we got as real as we can get. Now we're going to dabble with different styles of animation and have fun with it, which is kind of cool, but not everyone likes that style, man. Like a lot of people didn't like Turning Red. it kind of has like a I don't even know, like Steven Universe kind of look almost to it, right?
Yeah, Luca was kind of like in like I liked Luca. I liked the movie Luca. Still to this day, I feel like that got a shitty release time because of everything that happened.
Right.
It deserves way more praise for what it got. But Turning Red, dude, or whatever it's called, I did not like that movie. And you're right, the animation didn't look like Pixar. It didn't look like Disney. It's just weird.
Is that the same movie? George, I think we did episode. George was saying he didn't like Turning Red as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's
Okay.
Tones, it's really hard to get through, bro. Like seriously.
It's
like
bad.
the first like 10 minutes is like hyperactive, like just oh my god, bro.
And I feel like that's where like the younger generation like understand it because like they can read that language and kind of thing. Like for guys like us, like that's just not in our realm. Like
No. The best part of that movie though was the band Four Town. Like that is it.
Oh,
I
for
will
sure.
say that the soundtrack for the movie was pretty good. I actually like the soundtrack over the movie. Although I will say the best way to watch Turning Red would be in high def, because to understand it, you either have to be high or deaf.
Yeah, there you go.
I thought you were gonna say with the TV off. I thought that's where you're going.
gonna turn.
Listen, is Pixar getting lazy?
No, I don't think they're getting lazy per se. I just think that
the next two movies would be very telling.
Yeah, Hopper and this Elio. I don't think they're getting lazy. I think a lot of I think to be honest with you, a lot of the movies that like kind of flopped or whatever for Pixar or were seen as flops. I mean, to be fair, that was during the pandy, you know what I'm saying? And like a lot of those got like for example, Onward was like in theaters for like a week. And then they dropped it into the streaming service and things like that. I think a lot of that was pandy related stuff, but for the most part, I've kind of liked the recent stuff from Pixar. I like Soul a whole lot. I absolutely loved Elemental. I thought Inside Out 2 was an absolute banger. I don't know. I've been liking the Pixar stuff. The only one that I really didn't like though was that Turning Red. I thought Turning Red was absolutely obnoxious.
The only thing is, and I get it because a lot of times people. I'm glad you brought up Inside Out 2, OG, because a lot of times, like through the public eye, with like the Golden Globes that just recently passed, and I was wondering like who won for Best Animated Feature, and it was a movie called Flow, and I've never really heard of it. I saw a poster of it. It shows like a black cat or something. I know nothing about it, but I thought it was quite interesting. Not saying that it's a bad movie, but I think it's quite interesting that there's like no buzz, no talk about it, but yet that's the winner. For me, I would have thought Inside Out 2 would have been a shoo-in. So of why Flow won, like I actually think Inside Out 2 got snubbed on that one. But I know that a lot of times with the Golden Globes, it's completely separate than like the Academy Awards. So.
And there's a lot of I don't really watch the award shows anymore because there's a lot of like not like politics like how we know politics, but like Hollywood politics involved in all that shit. You know what I'm saying? And I don't take any of that. I honestly,
more so watch it because I just like to see like who actually.
Yeah, like, but I've tuned out of I've stopped taking them seriously since Beauty and the Beast lost to Silence of the Lambs.
That I agree with you with that. That was horrible. Like who even thought like Silence of the Lambs could even be nominated for Best Picture?
Bro, you had the first animated movie of all time nominated, man. And that was a beautiful movie. That movie was dang near flawless. I can't find a single thing wrong with Beauty and the Beast. And it lost. I was so mad. And it was only because he's stuck.
His bestiality.
Yeah, exactly. Because he's, you know.
2 times, George.
You know.
All right.
It's all those movies
what Disney movies are overrated? We'll do this a little bit rapid fire. So we got a few questions. I'm gonna say Frozen.
Overrated. Overrated.
Yeah.
Frozen for me. Fucking hate Frozen. Way too much singing. The storyline's basic.
The original Lion King.
No way.
I'm just kidding.
Really?
No.
I was gonna say get out of here.
My favorite. I think that's my favorite Disney movie.
You like burned yourself on that.
Oh, overrated.
Does this include Pixar or just Disney?
Yeah, I believe.
Because I will say honestly, overrated. We were just talking about it a little bit ago. I hate to say this is Toy Story, and Pixar did it to themselves. They did it to themselves because it's a very good movie, like set of like a trilogy. But I just think they're just like they're going too much with it, honestly.
Yeah. I mean, oh man. Well, I mean, we could say, hey, Tones, to your credit, live action Lion King is definitely overrated. That movie should not have made $1 billion.
Absolutely.
It was the same exact movie as the fucking animated. I swear they fucking just mirrored it and was like, hey, we'll make a live action. It was crazy to me. Like same lines too, like word for word. Fucking weird.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy that movie made $1 billion.
Mufasa was great though. I haven't seen it yet, but I heard it was amazing.
So really quick, because I know we're going. I saw Mufasa. Here's the thing. There's parts I like about it. There's parts that I don't like about it. The biggest issue that I had with it, honestly, was Timon and Pumbaa.
Yeah,
like I just felt like they had way too much screen time. Their jokes were like not even funny, corny. They were obnoxiously corny. It was meta. They didn't even need to be there. I didn't even like. I actually thought Rafiki's character was very interesting from like the start of how he got introduced to meeting Mufasa. I actually liked Rafiki's character.
Here's the problem with Disney. A lot of Disney stuff, and they always do this. They do a lot of beautiful work, and then they do a lot of Rafiki. There you go. They do a lot of beautiful work, but then they kind of crap on their own stuff with this really cornball humor. Like I love Moana. I think it's a great movie, but it's like, do we need the Twitter joke in there and shit like that? And it just kind of ruins the whole thing. They have all their artists travel to that part of the world to understand the culture, and then they insert all these modern jokes and make it stupid. You know what I'm saying? Like you're undoing your work.
Speaking of Moana, it was announced that it is the #1 streamed movie in the world for 5 years in a row.
Yeah, no, it's a beast, man. Moana is
Moana.
Yeah. Moana could have ran for president and won, dude. Like she's unstoppable right now.
I thought Moana was decent. It wasn't my favorite movie of all time. It was decent to me. I felt like this is weird because I know it's not the same, but I feel like they just kicked Lilo to the curb. You know what I mean? Like they're like, oh, we're done with Lilo and Stitch. Let's bring something else into it, and here we go. We have Moana.
Well, I do hope that they have a comeback with Lilo and Stitch because the Lilo and Stitch live action. OG and I got to see
the Sonic, dude.
Yeah,
they almost pulled a Sonic with that shit. Like, what the fuck you doing? Like, don't fuck that up. That brings us into this question. It looks good now, but the old one looked like a fucking weirdo. That brings up this next question. How do you feel about live action adaptations of adaptations, of the animated movies?
See, Marissa, this is the thing with this, right? I don't mind them, but they seem to be remaking the wrong movies. Like, don't remake the movies that are like
solid.
Right, like cinematic masterpieces, right? You're not going to live up to that. Why don't you remake like Treasure Planet and give that franchise a second chance at life? You know what I'm saying?
Dude,
things that flop, right? Or Black Cauldron
needs it.
Yeah,
Sword in the Stone, like that kind of stuff. Like I would, that'd be
You don't.
I will say this though. I don't think How to Train Your Dragon is Disney, right?
No, it's Universal.
Okay. Dude. So, but them remaking that live action, the trailer looks so good, guys. I don't know if you guys seen it.
Dude, I love it.
I haven't been excited for a movie like that. That's gonna be fantastic.
As far as an adaptation to a banger fucking animation, I think How to Train Your Dragon is.
Here's the thing with How to Train Your Dragon. I feel like that could have been a standalone live action, but I feel like a lot of people would not have given it a chance. So I like the route how they started it out as animation, and it's like, okay, now that we have people's attention with it, boom, now let's make the movie that we really wanted to make from the very get-go.
You know what would be cool, actually, Tones, and I know because I know you like dragons and stuff. Like if they're gonna do the live action movie, that's cool. But if they made like a show, like on Max or something, because you can't put Peacock because no one watches Peacock. Put it on Max, right? Yeah, exactly. How to Train Your Dragon live action series, but like go like hard for it, like like I mean, obviously not like Game of Thrones, like no tits and wine and stuff.
No. Yeah. We need tits, wine, like heads chopped off, like we needed the whole shebang.
That would be a dope series of it. That'd be a really dope series.
Real quick, can I just say this? Because you brought up. How to Train a Dragon might be a potential big movie because of the way they're going to use the dragons, in my opinion. there's there's a thing in Game of Thrones universe. It's called the Doom of Valyria, which a lot of people will find it hard for them to make a live action movie because there's hundreds of dragons in within that storyline, and they didn't think they could do it and make it realistic. Now, How to Train a Dragon, the way they're going to go about it may make way for them to make a movie or a show for the dragons, in my opinion, because I think it was hard, like, to vision it or to think about how it would look like. And if How to Train a Dragon, if they do it well, I think will make room for a lot of people making movies with dragons in it or shows that have dragons in it.
That's a great point. Excellent point.
I agree.
I have a really quick question. I'm gonna like pull a Candy Camper just like out of the blue. Have a question. Speaking of dragons, are you a fan of Aragon?
Aragon.
The movie, the old movie.
Just in general, yeah.
I don't even know what that is, to be honest with you.
I own it. I don't think I've ever actually watched it, but I heard that it was supposed to be really good. That's why I bought it. You're talking about like the kid, right? With the dragon?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I never actually watched it. I own it, but never watched it.
Oh no, I've never seen this. I've never seen it. Or read it, actually.
Yeah, because it was actually a book series.
Yeah.
What am I talking about? What's the one with the dragon? Like the kid on the dragon. It's Aragon. Hold on.
Yeah, but it's a book. It's not a show. Right?
Well, they made it as a movie.
Oh, they did? Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I only see the book.
There you go.
Seymour's asking.
Like...
What about it, George?
No, I just wasn't. I wasn't. If you were a fan of it, being that you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, okay. I think
okay.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
I never heard of it, to be honest.
Seymour's asking Shrek live action when? Can you imagine, bro?
Oh my god.
It would do good. It would do good.
Potentially.
I saw Shrek the musical, and it was
good.
It was good, but I mean, like, again, a lot of like that meta shit. Like
you can't unsee that shit, huh, George?
I love how George is now using the word meta because he's in California. I don't think I've ever heard him use the word meta until he moved to California.
Bro. Oh yeah, George is so LA now, bro.
Yeah, bro. Seriously. Oh,
shit. You need to go to Starbucks tomorrow morning, get a frappuccino, you know. And
I did have a frappuccino today.
That's hilarious. Oh, George has a Pilates tomorrow morning at 9:30.
I know, right?
There it is. Oh yeah. Which movie do you think will do better, Fantastic Four or Superman? Fantastic Four or Superman? I'm gonna say Fantastic Four personally.
Really? I don't know. Superman's like, if Superman is really good, I think that might do it because that's the bigger draw. I think Superman's a way bigger character. It's tough, man. I feel
like Fantastic Four is going to be a drag out success. I feel like it's going to make its money like in the long haul. I feel like Superman is going to do banger numbers like opening weekend.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think Fantastic Four is going to flop. I'll say that. I just don't know in terms of which will do better. It's tough. It's really tough.
I will say this, and OG and I touched on this when we did the trailer for Superman. Fantastic Four comes out the next week after Superman drops.
Yeah,
I had mentioned that the Superman or Fantastic Four rather might push back their release date maybe another week or so. Because of the Superman drop. I don't know for sure if that's going to happen, but I do think they might go about that because of how anticipated Superman is. Superman will probably do better numbers because, for one, it's James Gunn, and for two, it's a start of his universe when it comes to the DCU. Yeah. But Fantastic Four is going to do just as good, maybe not better than Superman as far as number wise. But the Fantastic Four has a huge fan base because of how good those movies were. Yeah, and the casting. The casting was phenomenal, dude. They could have not done any better with these actors, in my opinion.
Does Pedro Pascal get any sleep? Like I honestly, he's like in everything nowadays.
Absolutely.
Yeah, where is our Last of Us at? That's been a while, dude.
Well, you obviously don't watch my TikToks. Thank you. Appreciate it. Last of Us 2 trailer just came out today or last night at like 11
Or
a.m.
was I just saying that so you can plug your fucking show real quick? Am I just that good of a friend? See?
No, you're not that good of a friend. That's why.
Hey,
No,
everyone go check out Tom's TikTok so you can see the new Last of Us trailer drop
But guess when Last of Us is dropping?
next year.
No, April. I thought it was gonna drop fucking December or November or possibly next year, dude. I was not expecting an April drop. That's insane, dude. Because they just got done filming. What I want to say 4 months ago.
You gotta ride the wave, dude.
Max?
Sometimes you gotta just go for it. And dude, it's so fucking good. It was so
really
good. I'm excited for Twisted Metal. I don't know if anyone's seen Twisted Metal. That's the only reason why I watch Peacock, dudes, for Twisted Metal.
That was on the that was a show, right? Wasn't it?
Yeah, Anthony Mackie.
I didn't get to see it though.
Who do we got next? We got this one right here. What Marvel character would you trade lives with? I'm not gonna tell you mine because then it's be controversial. Then everybody be mad at me.
That's a tough one.
I think I would go with Iron Man, dude. I mean, that's just I don't think that's even close to my opinion. I mean, Iron Man, he's rich as hell. He's flies in a suit.
Out for you, Tones?
Huh?
Just being rich as hell. Like, how's that fun?
Did you see the fucking shit he has in his garage? What do you mean? How's it fun?
Because he had to. He was so rich that it wasn't enough for him. They had to go build a suit and get a new heart.
I'm fucking flying everywhere I want to go.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you on that. I want to be the billionaire.
Fuck.
The billionaire, and then go to all these parties, all these, beautiful women. Yeah, man.
What kind of parties are there?
The what?
What kind of party? What kind of parties?
Yeah, parties. Just
no Diddy parties.
Oh, definitely not. No baby oil.
Your suit. My suit all rusty. What about you, George?
Oh, I can't wait to hear this.
Yeah.
Honestly, I probably have to go with Captain America.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That's a good one. All American George. Look at that.
Yeah. He's gonna go Deadpool, dude.
So is it America George now instead of George the Italiano?
Yeah.
George the Americano.
Yeah, there you go.
All right. I think we're gonna call it here, y'all. We went on for a while about some random stuff. This was my first episode back in a while, so I appreciate you guys sticking with me. I'm gonna go do a little more research. We kind of threw this together at the last minute. It's hard to get the boys on all at one time, so we got to take what we can get. But I want to thank everybody for being there and helping us out with the chat. So it was great. We had a consistent 10 to 11 people in here. That was fantastic. I love it. We're growing, and we can't grow without you guys. So really appreciate it. Look out for some real big news coming up very soon.
There are other ways to grow, but
George,
you got to do it.
Oh shit!
Hey, chat, you could borrow my copy. You could borrow my copy of fucking Beauty and the Beast.
Beauty and the Beast.
Hey, real quick, chat. Make sure you guys are subscribing with notifications on, so you guys are notified once videos uploaded. Because I don't know, I know when OG updates it comes up right away on my feed. So make sure you guys do the same.
When Tony updates, I never know. That's why I didn't know he had a TikTok. So I need to go and subscribe. Yeah. Subscribe. I probably just need to subscribe.
Great friend, right? Great friend.
Oh man, but I appreciate y'all. If y'all can tell them where they can find you, let's start off again with Tones.
Hey guys, find me at Tones_TV on all platforms. Go to my YouTube channel, Bat Studios on YouTube. Also go to the podcast. Like I said, we're recording our first episode tomorrow. Going to be put out on Monday. I believe it's the 12th. So make sure you guys go do that. YouTube and Spotify, Bad Thoughts Podcast. Don't forget, all right?
There we go.
Sweet. All right, OG.
Well, again, Mr. Candy Camper, I want to thank you for having us on. It's always good to get the band back together again. Tones Poppy Italiano, it was an honor serving with you fellas shoulder to shoulder tonight. I want to thank everybody in the chat, Marissa, Fernanda, Seymour Duck, Abigail, everybody that joined us. It's Florentine. Thank you so much. You can find me on OrangeGrove55 on YouTube, OrangeGrove55 on X, and OrangeGrove55 on Instagram. The OrangeGrove55 on TikTok is not me. That is not me.
That is
But,
not.
Fuck
that is
guy.
not me. But
Fuck you.
yeah, exactly. So yeah, thanks again, Kenny Camper. I appreciate you, and I'll turn it over to the Disney Americano.
Yeah, so definitely, yeah. Again, as OG has said, Candid, thanks for having us on. It's been a while. Glad we got to catch up and do our thing as we always do. But and to the chat, everyone, thanks for sticking around. We love this kind of stuff, so we greatly appreciate you. But if you'd like to find me on social media, you could do so on X, formerly known as Twitter, at Disney George. You could also find me on Instagram, Threads, and Blue Sky under the Disney Italiano. And of course, you can find me on my home base on Orange Grove 55 with Citrus Corner with all that sweet, juicy, but sometimes sticky Disney news and info. And also look out for my new book that'll be coming out in the spring, What is Bestiality? And you could...
Yeah, right. It's hung like a...
And canceled.
Yeah, no.
I mean, hey, if we didn't get canceled for all the other shit we've done, I think we're fine, right?
We're good, bro. We're good.
I can't wait for the comments for the people who
I
haven't seen
know.
this episode.
I love it. One thing before I let you guys go again, I want to thank you for being here for reals, because I know it's late for a lot of you guys out there. I can only do things late, so on my channel we're gonna have these late lives. But I'm gonna be doing more lives coming up versus videos. I just think they're a lot more fun, and I love answering the questions in the chat. So if you have any questions, please shoot us a message on here. We can add it to our chat so we can do it through the live. But you guys can find me here, Candid Camper on YouTube, or the Candid Camper over on Instagram and on TikTok for now. But if not, YouTube and Instagram is where it's going to be at, because I don't want any more social media bullshit on my phone. Running out of memory. But cool. I appreciate everybody being here. Thank you again to the OG crew. Thanks, Tones. And check us out tomorrow at the Bad Thoughts podcast, where we rebranded, and we're going to give you some fucking killer shit. So stay tuned. All right, y'all. Have a good night. Peace.